We're back.
Hello.
Hey, coffee in hand. It's been a while.
Straight out of lockdown.
Straight out of lockdown. I don't technically know if this is allowed. This is allowed,
This
isn't
is
it?
allowed. 2 meters out, surely.
Yeah. We're not sure on the rules. No one's sure on the rules.
We're fine. This was recorded pre-lockdown.
This was
How's lockdown been?
try and get around it by doing that. We're doing that a little bit at training. At training, we're doing a thing where you're only allowed to train with the same person who you're bubbled with. I just happen to be bubbled with someone that I don't live with and I don't have any contact with apart from when I'm at training. So it's been quite fun because we're trying to get around. People are trying to find ways.
Yeah.
Ingeniously.
I think I'm just in a bubble with everyone in Stoke. That's how we're running it, I think.
I think that the size of the bubble increases and decreases depending on how easy or hard it is to do a given task.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, we was talking about this, especially with the band, because we've not practiced. Well, we have practiced, but up until practice last week, we'd not been in the same room together since beginning of February. We had a gig at the start of February. We had one rehearsal after it, and that was it. Just cold turkey since then. And we've been trying to weigh up whether or not we're allowed to, trying to make sense of whatever that clown's been saying.
Yeah.
But then we just thought we're all in work. If I can go and sit in a call centre with 300 other people, then surely I can go and play guitar with my mates, or I can come and record a podcast. It's no different in my eyes. That
I think that the problem is you can't give enough credit. You shouldn't give enough credit to members of the public, just general.
No.
Because I just think if I didn't feel like it was safe to have you sat here, we wouldn't do it.
No.
So it's you kind of just wouldn't. But some people just do whatever they want to do.
I think that there's if you're looking after yourself, I'm looking after myself.
Yeah.
Us two meeting up for an hour once a month is, I think,
minor.
Within that. That's within acceptable boundaries, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then you get people who are going to I was in shopping the other day. This woman come over and banging me on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Can you pass us one of them? I was like, well, for a second, can you get 2 meters back? It's just ridiculous.
It's when it made me laugh as I saw that meme when Manchester locked down again.
Yeah.
They were saying that in Manchester you could get if you didn't want to go to the office, you could be fired for sitting in an office, was not wanting to sit in the office. If you went and sat in your family's living room, you would be fined, but you were given a voucher to go and sit in a restaurant.
It's mayhem.
So the same spaces.
It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's absolutely ridiculous.
That was my main criticism of the whole UK thing, was just that the rules were changing every couple of weeks.
Well, there was no rules, was there? It was just, let's just come out and say something, just to make it look like we're doing something. I think that's the crux of it, really. There's no structure to it. What gets me as well is you have to wear a mask from 3 weeks on Monday.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Yeah, masks are safe. Now we've got enough.
Yeah, but they announced it and said, as of 3 weeks on Monday.
Yeah.
Why not just, you need to be wearing a mask now. Put a mask on.
But yeah, why weren't we wearing them the whole time?
Yeah, and when they announced it, why did we have a 3 week window to get all your mask-free shopping done?
I've been pretty strict with it, though.
I have. I've not. Well, I have to be.
I say you've got more.
No choice. We have to wear masks in work now.
In the actual...
Yeah. We have we've got glass, perspex screens around us.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone's in their own little cubicle, bubble. And the second you leave yours, you've got to have a mask on. If you ain't got a mask on, then, you're screwed, aren't you?
What are they doing for the hot desk everything? So what, do they just clean down the hot desk at the beginning and the end of every day? Because you might not have the same desk the next day.
Beginning and end of every shift. So, we have set shifts. There's a shift starts at 7, a shift starts at 8, a shift starts at 9, then one starts at 10, then one at 11:30, one at 12:30, and one at 1:30. There, your start times.
Yeah. So
your finish times are 3:30, 4:00, 5:00.
Yeah.
6:30, 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
So on the hour, they come round and clean all the empty desks, deep clean, spray them down with bleach.
Or someone else comes and does whether they haven't given you the stuff.
Come round every hour on the cleaning times.
Wow.
You're not allowed to get up and swap desks with someone in the shift. If you sit in the wrong seat, you're fucked up. You're there for the day. There's no getting up. So it's as safe as it can be. It's good.
Well, yeah, that's as safe as it can be. But that must affect productivity a little bit. That you're do you have to just be I've got to sit back for 10 minutes while someone cleans my desk?
Well, no, because it's generally done before you start. You never have a changeover like that.
You'd never be there waiting.
Because the thing is as well, the only time the only shift where you start at the time somebody finishes is when you're on the 7 o'clock start and you're taking over from nights.
Yeah. Like a handover.
There's no time because of it's 8 hour shifts where someone starts or someone leaves and you have to sit in the same desk. It's just the nights one. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. There's only like 20 people that work nights and there's 400 chairs, so you just sit somewhere else.
Yeah.
Until your desk's ready.
So that's
not too bad.
Isn't it? Ours has just been, they printed out some pictures saying to keep 2 meters apart and telling us to wash our hands regularly and clean the surfaces. And that's it. That's all.
It's fair. It's all you need to do though, as long as you're not being an idiot.
For the first week,
there's only a few of you in there, isn't there? It's not like you've got hundreds of people powering into one building.
Yeah, there's less than 10 of us actually employed. I think in the bit where I am, I stand like this close to Lee. John's in the corner, old boy John, and then Romina is like a new girl that she'll like bag and pack whatever each of us are printing.
Yeah.
So she might come up to you and be like, oh, this and this, have I got to do this, have I got to do that? But apart from that, when she comes up, we kind of just on our own kind of thing.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it? Like, it's really, like, I find it dead weird being in a really busy office building and just being on your own, like being in like a little cube on your own. You can't, like, it's just weird. You can't sit at the same desk as someone and have your dinner with them.
No.
Like, you can't, if you like going out for a fag on your break, you can't get in the lift together.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, we haven't got any. I haven't been in any buildings that have got lifts or anything like that, so I don't have to deal with any of that. But I suppose you can't do any of that.
Well, our buildings are cambered up for security, but the monitoring social distancing on that. If you get in the lift, you've got to stand back to back. Like, the lift long ways, one facing the door, one facing the mirror, back to back.
Yeah,
and like leaving all that jazz.
Yeah, so you're not breathing on each other because that's how it's.
Thermal cameras at all the entrances to the building, checking your temperature. You have to scan your pass, and you have to wait 10 seconds while it scans you. And if you're too hot, they send you home.
Wow.
Oh, it's mad. It's proper weird.
That is crazy because we, bearing in mind the beginning when all this started, one of our bosses panic bought 6 bars of Dettol and 2 spray bottles of Dettol, and we just sprayed everything, and that was it. And that was
your advice was, what was it? You're not in the bracket that's at risk, so see you Monday.
Yeah, he came in and went basically, it's only really affecting the old ones, isn't it? See you in a bit.
I like it.
But
it's been right though so far, hasn't it?
I mean, we're not. I mean, luckily we are. Me and Lee are like super healthy, so we're fine. Obviously, John, 67. He's up there in the bracket, and he's not the healthiest person in the world. So he's kind of up there, but he's been in the whole time. Like, he got furloughed for like no time at all, whereas everyone else had months off. John was just straight back in. Yeah,
you did all right out of furlough, didn't you?
I was in there for a pretty long time. It was like March till like a month ago.
From the start of March to today, what have you worked? Like 15 shifts? 20 shifts?
Like 4 full weeks. So yeah, that's like not many days
20
at all.
shifts.
Yeah, 20 shifts.
Disgusting.
29-hour shifts. Yeah.
I'd done that by the end of February.
Yeah. It was. I didn't think we were going to get kind of affected as much, but because we print clothes, no festivals were going on, so no one was coming in to buy anything. Like all the biker gangs and stuff we print for, they weren't having any of their summer get-togethers and stuff, so none of that was happening. It was just kind of, and then we couldn't get any of our supplies, like the people we buy our shirts off. We couldn't. The suppliers were closed. Nothing was coming into the country, so we couldn't even if we could go to work, there was nothing to print. So we had no choice. We were like, yeah, okay, well,
it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really bizarre. I had to try and think about it too much when I was sat around because it just spin your head out. Because I was like, well, my bosses don't know what's going on. I was like, but then no one knows what's going on.
That's it. There's no point in trying to have a plan, trying to make sense of it all. Just ride it, see where you end up. That's what we've been doing. It's worked out all right so far.
I mean, I've been quite strict with it, and we've been like not having people around because people on our street were just having parties and stuff. They were just not like wilding out. They were just doing whatever they want. I've seen people like a friend of mine in America. I told you caught it.
Yeah,
she caught it, but she was like, no one's doing it there. I don't know whether it's just the south of America have got this chip on their shoulder, because people I know that are in New York are all doing it. I don't know if that's
I know a few people like in the States, and they're very much of the persuasion that, well, basically, you're not telling me what to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, but there's a time and a place, isn't there, for
that kind of weird
flag waving and your pride and that. Fair enough. Like, yeah, if you don't want to be bossed around, you don't want to live in any state, but if someone says put this mask on or you might die, you put the mask on.
People I know in New York have been wearing them, and I didn't know. I didn't want to ask it because it's a weird question, but I was like, is that a 9/11 thing where they are a community and they're like, we've been attacked before, we know what it's like to hunker down and be New York and be
possible. I've never
do
thought of
something
that.
for other people.
Yeah.
Californians have never had that. Apart from maybe some people would have been in earthquakes in the 90s or whatever. Most Californians, most southern states are in it for themselves rather than the community. I didn't know whether that was a thing. I didn't want to ask it because that's a weird thing to ask.
Just
because of terrorism.
Just remember where
nice.
this goes out, though.
Yeah. But I was like, it just seems like most of the people I know from the southern states are doing whatever they want, whereas people I know in New York, most people are masking up. Even in like the dead street, the streets are dead, man. It's weird. Like all the streets in New York are dead, and you look at all those big office buildings, they'll all be empty.
Yeah.
Imagine like a skyscraper. How many people can work in a skyscraper if you've got to stay all that distance apart? I feel like a sort of like proper zombie movie.
We're doing all right with it. Our building's 3,500 capacity.
Yeah.
We've not got 3,500 in, obviously. We've still got a lot working from home. But yeah, it's just weird, man. It's proper weird.
Yeah.
It's just dead unsettling, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like I find it dead odd when you walk into the supermarkets. I don't know what the ones around here are like. But where we live, like everyone's queuing up outside. You got your mask on. You stood 2 feet apart. You get to the front, and there's a woman like with her like a spray, like blast your trolley down.
Yeah.
Like you have to, like what's it called?
Put the sanitizer.
Sanitize. That's it. Sanitize your hands and everything. And then you go in and there's just signs everywhere. There's arrows around the floor. If you forget something, like that's in the past. I wanted some eggs the other day. Walked straight past them because it weren't. I normally go Morrison's. I was in Tesco. Walked straight past the eggs. Like that's it. They're gone.
Yeah. No more
if you want eggs, you've got to come all the way out, pay for your shopping, get back of the queue, and come through it all again to pick them up.
See, ours wasn't too bad because ours was the arrows up and down, but then you had to find a checkout. You had to go to the last aisle. The last aisle was queued up.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant because I do my shopping up and down the aisles anyway. So I was just like, this is no change. This is brilliant. Everyone's keeping away from me. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
The only problem was if you were behind someone slow because you couldn't overtake.
Yeah.
So you was like,
it just ruins your day, doesn't it? Properly ruins your day. I have done a couple of like illegal overtakings. I've done that a few times.
Tokyo drifting the cart around the side, coming in the back.
You can't do it with a car. If you've got a basket, you can about get away with it. You can't do it with a cart. Yesterday, we went to go and do some shopping to pick up some odd bits and some like more fresh stuff. There was a woman in a mask looking at like the reduced aisle. You know the reduced aisle, how that gets lawless, where people are fighting and everyone's like that. She was full coughing, even though she had a mask on, full coughing, but not like a clear the throat cough. This was like smokers, could be COVID cough. Like the worst cough you've ever. You just coughed over food, woman. What the fuck? It's always fresh stuff in there as well, and it's stuff that's not vacuum packed. It's stuff that's going out of date that day, so that's why it's a 10p.
That's it, yeah. So it's
horrendous. These people are out there though.
They are.
They're everywhere.
They're right.
They're just absolutely everywhere.
The general public. The general public. Just the general public. They are everywhere, unfortunately.
The most, I think the biggest breach I've had of social distancing was my window cleaner.
What, on the outside of the house?
I had my headphones on. I didn't know. Obviously, I didn't know he was there. I was like, just had my headphones on. Sam was downstairs. I think I was listening to a podcast or something. I had my headphones on. I did a bit of pottering around upstairs, like just get myself ready for work. Go in the kitchen. We have this like it's like underneath. We've got like a big bay window. Underneath it's like a big chest, like a futon kind of. I don't know if that's what it's called. It's like a big box
like
seat where you can set the ottoman. That's the one. And my work bag was in there. I lifted it up to get my bag out. Then when I stood back up, like face to face, because my window was open, he stuck his head in. He was like, "You all right? Are you coughing up? Like you owe me 2 weeks?" But he was like this far away from my face in my house.
Rich.
I was like, I've been infiltrated. Like how's this happened? Like, it's supposed to be safe in my house. Well, wear headphones in my house now. They absolutely shit my pants. But literally, like he was like here.
He's not into it.
It's unreal. He didn't have a mask on either.
No, I say some people, some jobs and some professions, it's almost like a thing to like who's not gonna. Like we went to the mechanics then.
Yeah,
he wasn't wearing one, and I couldn't be like, well, I'd be wearing mine because he's not wearing his.
Yeah,
I'll just stay away from him.
Yeah,
and try. His mask off.
I think my favourite. I've got a new hobby though since the start of lockdown. Community groups on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Our Kids Grove little group where we live.
Yeah, everyone
that lives in Kids Grove's in it, and it's a
mayhem.
Lawless place. Like it's just people like calling the neighbours out for stuff and like bitching and. Like, there's this woman who's on it all the time. I'm not going to name her. She's not going to watch this. Absolutely no chance. She probably don't even know what a podcast is. No. But just in case someone tells her.
Yeah.
And like every day she's on there calling someone out. Oh, 34 whatever street
by the name of the house,
over the road from us. They've got a garden around. He didn't have a mask on. Right, he's in the garden on his own.
Yeah,
what difference does it make?
Yeah.
Like, leave him alone. He's trying to earn a living. Oh, Scrapman's been round, not wearing masks. He's in his own car, like all the time. Like with literally everything. But like, it winds me up. It proper winds me up. But they're just proper busybodies. But I think this is bringing the worst of that out because everyone's staying at home all the time and no one's going out. People are just staying at home, getting really, really pent up, and then just going on these groups and unleashing it all.
Yeah, it's a curtain twitching kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good though. It's funny. If you've got like a quiet night, you've got nothing to do, you just have a flick through some of these. You see some amazing things.
Ours on that, we've got like the spotted pages.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so we've got one of those we've got Spotted Ilkeston, which is lawless because that's all anonymous, isn't it? So people can post whatever they want. Obviously, the admin will know who it is.
Yeah.
Facebook group, and then we've got something called Next Door, which is like a thing that most like. I don't think it's more American than it is British, but we have it here, which is like it's not just this estate, but it's like the small area. So there's maybe like a few streets around this little block, and they're all on it. But it'll be like every 4 days, an old dear will be like, "I've got some spare tomato plants. I'm putting them on the wall. If you'd like to donate to this charity, drop a couple of pence in or whatever." You know, it's like very nice.
Yeah.
Some people are like, "I've lost my cat." Some people are like, "I'm delivering Avon." But no one's stabbing each other in the back on there.
No, it's proper treacherous at our kids' group. Honestly, it's just you don't realise how many Judases you live near.
Yeah.
It's mayhem. I saw one the other day though that really made me laugh. Like there was some guy got stabbed. Absolutely, completely fine.
Yeah.
He's been stabbed. He's been stabbed, but like
you remember that.
He's all right. He's not come to any like serious harm, luckily.
Yeah.
And like people just love it. As soon as something like that happens, this group is lighting up. I've set notifications up on my phone because it's that funny. Like just to have a look at it. But this night when this happened, my phone was going off all night, and people were arguing about it in the comments. Like somebody put,
"It's just happened."
Like someone shared the story. Like 20-year-old's been stabbed in Kidsgrove. Police are there. Is it? Like he's been airlifted to hospital and everything. Somebody commented, "Hope everyone involved is okay." And somebody else commented and put like, "Well, no, someone's been stabbed. He's clearly not okay." And it just went wild. Like it was just absolute mayhem.
Woo!
But when you sat there at home with your popcorn,
I say
cup of hot chocolate, there's nothing better.
Jason Momoa with that chair, sitting down on the lawn.
Oh, it's good.
I wish we had that. Because both people around here are like that. I know they're like, I can see that they're like that. I just wish they would do it more online so I could read it rather than have to look out the window and see it. Because they probably get like it with each other. Everyone's like kind of shirty with each other around here, which is a bit. But we're going to do that. People everywhere. I want to live in a cabin in the woods.
Yeah, that's the dream, innit?
That's the dream. The cabin in the woods dream.
I was looking as well. I've got really obsessively into lots of different things that have lasted for like a couple of days over lockdown.
Trying to find a hobby.
One of them was I was really, really considering all the money we've saved up, spending it on going on one of them courses which teaches you how to make your own tiny home.
That would be cool.
I feel like I could learn how to make an house. I mean, I'd never be able to make an house. I struggle with Lego, if I'm honest. Yeah. But like, there's no way I'd be able to do it. But I was convinced for a few days that that's what I was going to do. I was going to build me and the wife a little house. And then obviously the next thing came along.
See, that's a good idea. And I think me and my dad could definitely build a house. I know that we've renovated houses now, like we renovated my old house. But he does struggle with Lego. we bought my niece and my mum and dad came over with the dog, and we had like a picnic in the garden or whatever. And I wanted to buy her a gift as like a toy. And I've been eyeing up Lego for ages. Like I'm like, there's some amazing Lego sets. Like since I was a kid, Lego has got exponentially better. Yeah. So I was like, this is going to be amazing. But I'm just waiting for her because she's 4. I was like, that's kind of like, they say 4 on the box, but I'm like, is the small parts? Because she will put it in her mouth or she'll if she can be helped to build it, maybe she can still play with it or whatever. So I was like, let's try it out. So I had to try and find a Lego set that was good enough. So I found this like VW camper van that's like it's like an ice cream truck.
That's
but it got like, it was very, I had to try and find one that's got like, it's got like a mixed race girl, it's got a black girl, it's got a white girl, and it's got a dog and a thing. I was like trying to make it like the most PC sex. I was like, I want her to be into Lego. Yeah. I'd love it if she was into Lego. So I'm going to get her a good set, and got it. And I was like, right, it's going to be 4. We'll see if there's some bigger bits and we can put it together. And I just told my dad, because we got that, I'd been given that Ferrari for my birthday. And I said to Dad, it took me about half an hour, 45 minutes while I was watching Joe Rogan. I just got a tray out and just off I went.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, it's pretty good, that. It's all right. It's changed since you were a kid. I was like, yeah, no worries, help Layla. I knew she was sat here doing it. And about an hour in, me and my mum were just chatting, and my dad was like, this is absolutely unbelievably difficult. Like, how is this? And I was like, it says 4-year-old on the thing, Dad. Like, what's going on? He's like, I can't find this bit. I was like, what? So I look, and he was trying to build it. Instead of looking like step by step,
Just looking at the box.
he was looking at the overview at the front. So he's got the final finished picture, and he's trying to make the entire thing out of however many hundreds pieces come in this one kit. Like, imagine trying to build that Ferrari without looking at any pictures.
Yeah,
I was like, you're never going to get it. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I've got quite a lot of Lego. Like I've let slip once that I'm into Lego.
Yeah.
Somebody at work bought me a little set of Secret Santa, like a little Star Wars set. And then that just spurred this thing that lasted for about 3 years, where every Christmas, every birthday, everyone bought me Lego.
Yep.
And but I've got like, it's incredible. I've got the Millennium Falcon. I've got like all these like Star Wars sets, and I've got this like big unit in the living room, which I had them on until recently. I've got rid of them now. I've like put them in the loft. But it's just sparked a conversation when one of my mates was round, and like when we were kids, like there was none of that. Like you couldn't go out and buy a Millennium Falcon. If you wanted a Lego Millennium Falcon, you have to get your big tub of Lego out with all your bits, and you have to try and make it yourself.
Yeah. How are you going to find that many grey bits?
Yeah, it's a big
multicoloured,
like it looks like Elmer.
Yeah,
do you remember him?
Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, it was mad.
Because like when I was doing that Ferrari, there's all bits of like there's like hinges. And there's lights, but the thing I don't like about the Ferrari one, there's stickers. You have to put stickers on it. I was like, stickers?
No, yeah.
Not stickers.
Do you remember the old printed bricks?
Yeah.
They used to have like the rough surface and they were printed.
It was so good. But I mean, I was like, wow, that's like there's like curved bits and weird like shaped bits.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's like wheels that come with tyres you have to put on. I was like, that wasn't around when I was a kid. I think it's cool as hell. I'm trying to put the kibosh on it though, because for that was my birthday in June. For Christmas, she bought me that Triceratops one, that dinosaur one. I'm like, is this going to become a thing?
This is it.
It's like there's Funko Pops and there's Lego. I'm like,
you're stuck now.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're going to have it coming out your ears.
I shouldn't have said it. It's like one of them things where people think that, if people mention they're into gin or a certain...
I've done that. I've made that mistake. In fact, actually, that wasn't a mistake. That was an absolute yield, that was. Let's slip that I'm into gin. Mother-in-law bought me 12 bottles of gin for Christmas, like all these different ones. That was decent. That was a very good Boxing Day.
You must have the same thing with dogs too, though, because we do the same thing for Char's dad, like sausage dog. Anything with a sausage dog on it. Yeah,
we've got a Boston Terrier and we've got a black cat. Everything in the house has got a Boston Terrier and a black cat on it. We've got like people buy us mugs. We've got more posters and pictures and like little like framed artwork and prints and things all over the house.
Yep.
You know, like them tin signs you get.
Yeah.
Usually have like, a house is not a home without a dog.
Yeah.
If you're one of them with a Boston on it, we've got one of them. But I mean, it's good. Like you open it, you go, oh yeah, that's quite thoughtful. You know, I've got a dog. But then when the same person's giving you your 8th one for your 8th birthday in a row, it's like, I'm running out of wall space here now. I'm not tiling my roof with them. Like, what do you think I'm doing?
I'm kind of running out of like, there's too many Funko Pops to buy.
Yeah.
So people should stop buying.
Yeah.
I say that, and then every year, me and Lee buy each other something for. We don't do Christmas stuff, but we do like a stupid birthday or a gift that's something to do with whatever. So that's why you got me these 2 Funko Pops. But they're not like Funko Pops. These ones are they're like slightly different.
I like them.
They're made by Funko, but they're different ones because he knows I like Wes Anderson movies. So he's got Ned and Steve. So you got like Bill Murray and Owen Wilson from a cool movie. He tried to buy me the Grand Budapest Hotel ones, but he said they were very rare in the UK. So he got me them. Last year, what did he get me last year? Last year he got me the new Dead-Eye Duck figure from Bucky O'Hare, which I thought was a cool gift, because we talk about all the stuff that we're into when we're kids. And I bought him, what was it, like, was it Starfleet box set? I can't remember what it's called. There's like a Japanese Thunderbird style show I used to watch when he was a kid. And I managed to find a DVD with like 25 hours of extras and stuff on it and give that to him so him and his son could watch it.
I think it's mad that you go for all this dead thoughtful present by him. And then when we said we'll do Christmas presents, we both bought that same
the same
book.
Andrew Ridgely book. The second and third copies. Yeah, we should do something better. No Funko Pops though. Because he said when he was looking at that, he was like, I tried to get you the Grand Budapest ones. He knows I like that movie. He said he tried to find me the BoJack one, but you can't get the BoJack one in the UK anymore.
No, I've looked for that.
That's
Final Space ones as well, you can't get them over there.
No.
But they do exist, I've seen them. I've seen pictures of them and that, but you can't get them over there.
I saw the one that I've wanted the most. It was like a San Diego Comic Con exclusive, like 3 years ago. Was the Megazord from Power Rangers?
Yeah.
Like together with all the animals. I was like, that is cool, man. I would have that, but I don't like it enough.
Drop that 300 quid on it.
Jeez, it must be worth a lot now because a lot of them. I mean, most of mine. I mean, this one's like limited edition, so I've kept the box and I can just put it back in and it's just out and very nice. But most of them are out just on the side.
I've got some of the Fallout ones. We had it was really bizarre. There's like a Home Bargains near us, which, I mean, I'm assuming that's not a thing in America.
It's like a Dollar Tree. They have a Dollar Tree over there. It's on like a pound shop, kind of like a cheap.
Yeah. Well, in one of them shops anyway, they just, I don't know how it happened, but we just went in, like, I think it was just after some bread or something, and they had loads of Fallout stuff in.
That's weird for them.
I know, like just proper, like really, really niche stuff, but stuff that if you got it from like Game or somewhere that actually sells it, like Forbidden Planet or something, you'd have been spending like 13, 14 quid each of them. They were selling them for like $2.99. They had like the bobbleheads as well.
Yeah, I love the bobbleheads.
I got a few of them, but that's pretty much it. I've not really been taken over by it like everyone else seems to have. My mate's got a quality Prince one though.
Prince would be cool.
For that little Funko Pop. It's good.
I remember Lee saying that he had to try and collect for his daughter she's obsessed with the Beatles. She's like 18. They had to try and buy the Beatles ones, but they were really expensive. Like the Yellow Submarine was expensive, and I was laughing because George and Ringo don't cost as much.
Of course they don't.
George and Ringo are cheaper, and then it goes up to like, I think John's the most expensive, then Paul, and then you've got the cheaper ones, and the Blue Meanie and whatever else. I can't remember. I was like, fair enough. If you're going to buy them, they have to stay in the box.
Yeah, you're not opening them, are you?
No, you can't. I'm not. I want to use stuff. I want stuff to be out. I
don't like stuff in boxes. I keep boxes.
Yeah.
Like if I get something that's cool, and I think like there's a very, very slim chance this could be worth something one day, the box is going in the loft.
Yeah.
But then, like, it's coming out of the box. There's no point in buying it to keep it in a box.
No. Well, we'll see when I've got to sort that podcast room out upstairs. But there is a lot of boxes in boxes.
Yeah.
To come out and loads of weird bits and pieces.
A mate of mine did it with a guitar. I don't get that. I really don't get that.
He kept the guitar.
Yeah, he bought. It's someone I used to knock about when I was in Manchester, and both into like very similar sorts of music, both into the same like guitars and that. It was when Gretsch brought out the Eddie Cochran like tribute guitar.
Okay.
It was like a proper replica of his guitar. Really, really nice guitar. Like big money. I think he spent about $6,000 on it.
Holy
like a lot of money.
That's a car.
And he bought it, and it's just in a case, wrapped in bubble wrap. Like, that'll be worth something one day. Like, it's worth something now. You just spent $6,000 on it. Play it. Like get $6,000 worth of enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Like, I've got some expensive guitars. I've got some guitars that are like £1,000 plus.
Yeah.
But if like I've had £1,000 worth of like time on them.
Yeah.
I won't buy it and just sit it in a.
No, I think
like,
you could.
sit it in a cupboard. I don't see the point.
I mean, even the ones that you get like that bass that I use upstairs, that Fender, that was new, was supposed to be 750, and someone had bought one, and then he was in. I can't remember what band it was. It might be something like the Stranglers cover band or something really weird.
Yeah.
And the actual bass he wanted, like an actual 1960s Fender Precision. Yeah. Basically the perfect, like his God roll guitar. That's what he wanted. Came up. But because that one I've got was the last one in, it was the first one out.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was supposed to be 750. He'd had it for like 3 or 4 months, and then sold it to me, I think it's 450, 500. And he drove it up here from like Hemel Hempstead. So it was like a 2-hour drive for him.
Yeah, yeah.
Brought it, had a cup of coffee and talked about a bit of punk rock or whatever. But that guitar was supposed to be like 750, say new. I've played hundreds of gigs with that guitar.
Yeah.
Like all the weddings, parties, everything I've played with that guitar. I just had the same bass. I had a backup, like jazz with like a different like pickup configuration, but I never got played. I even sold the backup because that one was like, it was working guitar.
It's bomb-proof, and you could drop it down a flat stairs, nothing's going to happen.
It was bomb-proof, and I kept it in a nice case, and I was like nearly every weekend I was gigging that. So that's had like thousands of hours done. I couldn't keep that. Yeah. It's not limited edition or anything, but it's a nice guitar.
It's the same principle though, isn't it? You can't, it's just what they for, isn't it?
I always do I always say, because Charles doesn't understand it, I call it man maths, where I go, right, so you could have a bass that costs $7,500. Is it 10 times as good as the bass that I've got there? The answer is probably no.
See, I have a very, very different kind of maths that I justify it with Sam. And I'm just like, that guitar you just bought, that was $1,000, that. Like, you know, that's a waste of money. And I'll dead quick, because I've already got it worked out in my head, I'll say, well, would you say like if somebody else lent it to me and I paid them 50p for half an hour to play it, would you say that was worth it?
You've worked it out.
So I go like, yeah, I thought that was a good deal. Yeah, well, flip chart comes down. This is how often I practice. This is how long we practice for. This is when we gig. This is how the amount of time I do at home. I've been profit in 18 months.
Yeah. Do you lowball the price when you tell her initially?
No.
You just tell her.
I tell her what. Yeah, I'm absolutely terrified that if I die, she'll sell them for
what you've asked.
For what she thinks I bought them for. So no, absolutely not.
Yeah, but you're good at the haggle bit. So
What do you mean?
You're like how you got your phone and how you get stuff. Like you are just good at the. I'd be like, right, I'll shop about, but when it comes to the face-to-face haggling, I've got a price that I won't go above, and that's it. And I'm like, right, I'll walk away, I'll do it.
No,
But
I've got a price I'm paying.
Yeah, you are like the master at the haggle. I'm so bad at it compared to you.
The phone's a bad example though. That guy was just having an absolute nightmare.
But you'll hold him to that. I would have gone, oh yeah, right, mate, that was a typo. You were like, no, you put it in writing now, and I've got it here contractually. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'll be joking. Verbal contract, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you got it like right down. It's like, so you go, yeah. I wouldn't lowball it, but I wouldn't. You know, I know what I would do all the shopping first.
See, I'm very impulsive though. Like when it comes to like big purchases, I just think like, oh, I want this. Oh, I've bought this. All right, I can't eat for 3 weeks now. And then I have to like work my budget out around it. Like I'm quite bad for that. Well, that's what it is, isn't it? You can't take it with you, can you? Your money.
That's it. See, I need to learn that because I go the other way with it, where I'll save for something. Like nowadays, it's easier because you can do payment plans and stuff. But that wasn't when I was a kid. It was always like, if you can't afford it, you do not have it.
Yeah.
So you save first. So I would go without so much when I was a kid. I'd be like, right, all the kids would be going to get this, or they're going out, or they're getting sweets, they'll be doing this. I would never do any of that. Keep it all back.
Yeah. And
then get what I wanted after a hard slog.
So yeah, I've been there. I definitely have. It's been miserable. There. But then since becoming like an adult and getting my own place and having like earning my money and everything, I think the big one for us was, what was the first thing we bought? It was my first Gretsch actually. That was the first big purchase that we made. Like when I moved in with Sam and we pulled all our money together, and I was like, I really want a Gretsch, and we got engaged, and it was like, right, okay, obviously we're going to be saving for the marriage for the next few years, so we'll get you the Gretsch now. I was like, excellent. So I got that, and that was on like a payment plan. I think we was paying like £85 a month for a couple of years. Yeah. And then once that was paid off, all I had in the back of my mind is I've got 85 quid a month that we're already budgeting for, that I can now get something else with.
You started.
And then we got a car, and that was paid off. It's like, oh, there's 300 quid a month. That's in the budget. We're not going to miss it. Yeah. And then like I'm just obsessed with buying guitars now. Or buying computers, or buying like cameras. Something. There's so much stuff I've ended up sticking on that. That's
where I am currently, I'm just aware that in 3.5 years' time, I'll have paid off my car and I will own the car. I did because it was in such a good condition with such low miles. I thought, well, I'll buy it like outright rather than give it back and lease it or whatever, like most people do. I was like, well, I'll buy it outright because in 3.5 years' time now, there'll be £200 a month that I'm budgeting for that I'm not missing. It's tight now, it's very tight, but in 3.5 years' time, I'll have a car that I own outright that will just keep going. The same with my motorbike. Yeah, I did loads of overtime to get that. Same thing. I'll just do without for a long time. Buy that in cash so it owes me nothing. Yeah, but that makes you miserable, man.
Yeah, it's not good, is it?
I think my parents drilled that into me from a young age, as like they would say it's character building. To work hard for what you want, and to put stuff aside, and to when you finally get it and you hold it.
Yeah, there is definitely something to that. But like, I used to have to, when I was a kid, I had to save up my pocket money, my spends. If I wanted to buy anything, I had to save it up out of that. And like we were not a wealthy family growing up. You used to get £2.50 a week spends. So if I wanted to buy like a PlayStation game, it's like 30 quid. That's months. Yeah, absolutely months that I had to save that up for. I was always like the last one to get everything, and but when I got it, like I was absolutely buzzing with it. I remember I wanted Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1.
I remember it well.
I got it probably about 18 months after it come out, but then all my mates were like on to the next one. I'd saved up my spends. I was like, no, I've been wanting this. I've been able to smell it, almost been able to taste it for like the past 6 months. I'm having it, but there's none of that now. I think that's. It's a bit, I don't know, it's a bit sad really. You don't get that same feeling when you get something new anymore. No. When you've not had to save for it like that.
Is that just adulthood?
I don't know. No, because I'm still a big kid. Like if I get a big purchase, I'm dead giddy about it.
Same.
Like when I got that last scratch.
Yeah.
And like obviously I knew,
accidentally on purpose got the last scratch.
Accidentally on purpose got the last scratch, and obviously it ended up that it was like that's going to be the Christmas present.
Yeah.
Sam's going to pay the finance for it for Christmas. Excellent. But then it was upstairs and it was in a box. It was all taped up, and it was like for about 3 months. And it was killing me. Like it was absolutely killing me. The day I got that, I think that's the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah.
Excluding me wedding day, just for the record. I've not said it. It was better than that. But yeah, like I was like dead giddy, dead excited. But you still don't get that sense of like pride where you've not saved for it and gone and bought it. You've gone in and signed your name on a bit of paper on an agreement. Yeah. And walked out with it. It's not the same.
Your Switch did the same thing though. You got that early.
I got my Switch early, yeah.
See, that was for me because this Christmas, the last one just gone, I knocked it out of the park. I absolutely killed the Christmas. It was brilliant. And she got me some bits and pieces. It was really nice. The year before, it was the roles were reversed. So I didn't know I was getting it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you were a kid and you opened it and you were like, that feeling. Yeah. I had that feeling as like a 30-year-old. And I was like, that is brilliant. Yeah. That is absolutely fantastic. I love it. But I think like my parents with the saving thing, you just delaying the fun bit.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know if I probably told this story before about the one I had to save for that guitar, that black one upstairs.
Yeah.
That black Samick, I had to save for, I think it's more than 2 years I had to save for that. I was on £15 a week on my weekend job.
Jesus.
The guitar was 400 quid. And I saved all that, my birthday money, my Christmas money, all that for like 2 years, barely going anywhere. And then finally got it for Christmas. On that, like, that's the end of the second year, I got it for Christmas. And my mum was like, oh, that was really nice to do. Then she let slip really soon afterwards that my great auntie, who's like basically my grandma, like someone who's like the head of the family or the matriarch of the family, because she knew I was into music and that was like a big deal for me when I was a kid, had offered just to buy it me outright.
Oh God, I'd have been spewing.
She was like, oh yeah, Auntie Mon offered just to buy you that as like an investment in, you know, your future being into music. She knew I was into music. It was my second guitar.
But we said, nah, fuck it.
Yeah, we said no. We said no to the free money. Scott should have to earn it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh my God.
That's rough. That's rough. No, we weren't that bad. We had to save for stuff out of necessity. There was no lesson just because we couldn't afford it.
Yeah, but that's why. Yeah, what had happened is my mum had bought me like a little Samick Strat and a little practice amp. I still got the practice amp.
Yeah,
and basically, so what I'd done was wanted to play guitar. They bought me this £120 starter kit, you know, the classic starter kit, and so I get home from school at like 4 o'clock and I play it till 8:39. 5 nights, all weekend. It was just like, that was my new thing. I was like, I'm going to be a fucking musician. I'm into music. That's going to be the future now.
Yeah.
Because my auntie had seen that and I wanted to buy my own second guitar, she'd gone, he's obviously into it. We'd like to support him. My parents went, don't support him. I'm sure the words weren't that.
Oh, that's rough.
But don't, So I was like, rough. I finally got this guitar and I'd go in every week and put that £15 wages. I would go into the guitar shop every week and give him my £15. And he'd just chalk it off on the book. He'd be like, right, it's another 15. You got another 50 weeks to go. And it was on, I could see it on the wall. It was, as I went into the guitar shop, it was the first one on the bottom right on the rack. So as soon as you walked in the door, it was there and I could see it. And I could like touch it. And I was like, well, I don't want to play it. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I want to. And then we're like, no, don't finance his future and his dreams. We'll kill them. We'll kill them. That's hard, isn't it?
That's hard parenting. That's old
hard,
school.
Yeah, that's old. My parents are like that through and through. Old school parenting.
And that was why you're the way you are. Why you won't buy anything.
Yeah, that's why I won't buy anything. But my dad was the first to break the cycle on that, because he's now the one where he's always saying to me, he's like, just buy it. If you want it, buy it, because you regret not buying it, but you won't regret buying it.
No.
Because he's like, I get that. That's my mum that puts that into me.
Yeah.
She's like, she'll be like, oh, I should have got that. My dad's never said that. So it's like, it's come from that side. But like with guitars, obviously it's like a lot of money. Because I remember them saying it about like my car. I would always save for a car and buy like a banger, but own it. This is the first car that I've ever had on a payment plan, because nobody owns their car.
I own mine.
Well, yeah.
I've never leased one.
Yeah.
We've always bought. We've been the opposite way.
Most people, I was doing that.
I'm from the way. If you're spending £100 a month on something, I want to own it at the end of it.
Yeah,
I don't want to be chucking £100 a month away for 3 years to then have to give it back and not get the money back.
That's where I'm at now. So I was like, right, I can't afford this car. I can afford to trade in my old one for a deposit, and I'd saved a bit of money to get my old PT Cruiser through the MOT. Obviously, it didn't do that. So I had like £700. That was like, right, I could put that down on this car and pay like a monthly, which is like what like 90% of people do.
Yeah.
Especially in England, I guess. I guess most people in America do that too. Just thought, well, I'll have that. And that would be my thing, kind of, that would be my monthly. But my parents were okay with it. They were the ones that were like, why have you thought about doing a payment plan? I was like, the ones that were like, don't get it if you can't afford it.
Yeah.
It was dead odd. They were like, they started to break, and now they're grandparents. They've got two grandchildren.
Spoiling them rotten.
Unbelievable.
It's so infuriating.
Unbelievable.
It is so infuriating. So infuriating.
I've never, but she gets away with way more. Not even just money things. Like when we're doing the Lego and whatever here, she was watching TV. We put the Disney Channel on for her because we were just eating a bit of food, and she was doing her bits and whatever else. And she was watching it, and my mum was like,
every time,
single episode. Every time. I've got it on silent.
Do you want to grab it?
No, it's all right. And she was watching the TV, and my mum was like, "Can you turn it down a bit, Layla?" Click, click, click. 2 minutes later, up it goes down 5, but it goes up 10. My mum was like, "Layla, would you mind?" And then she's trying to talk to her, but Layla was watching the TV, so Layla was ignoring Grandma.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Here it comes."
Oh my God!
Here comes
going off here.
The whooping, and then
didn't come.
Nothing.
No, it's infuriating. We used to have it all the time, like getting from school, like getting dump my bag at the bottom of the stairs, coats off, shoes off, I'm on the PlayStation. Mum would be at the bottom of the stairs, come and shift your shit. Now, grandkids do that, granddaughter does that. Come down, darling, just move your bag. Where does our bag go? Like, whoa, that's not what I had. That's not what I had. I got come and shift your shit and got a clip round the ear off and taking the piss in the first place.
Yeah, I was sat watching it, and I was like, when I was a kid, I don't think I would have ignored my mum if she was talking to me in the first place. You learn that lesson soon.
Yeah, you do it once, don't you?
But I think because that's Grandma and not her mum, it's like it's got a little bit extra time.
Yeah.
So it was just down the volume, and I was like, oh, that's all right. Then up the volume went, I was like, oh. And then Grandma's talking to her, but nothing, like she's not even looking at Grandma.
That's a bottle, that.
Yeah, the kid's just like,
bottle.
4, just like, yeah, whatever, out of the way. And I was like, here comes the boom. And it didn't. Nothing. What is that? I was like, I couldn't believe it.
Infuriating.
I was just, it's a new thing, but they I think they're just getting soft in their old age because I don't know whether they were, because they were like the same way growing up, but the world was easier then. Yeah. So like they could afford, like they were both unskilled, like they're very skilled at what they do, but they don't have like degrees or anything. Yeah. They never went to university. Mum went to college. Dad was like an apprentice builder and then worked as a builder, had his own building company. Then he managed building sites. Now he's kind of semi-retired in his 50s and renovates his own houses. So he basically buys a house for a price, spends 6 months on his own doing it all up himself. Whatever he sells it for is 6 months' wages to him, which is quite a lot because he's not paying anyone to do anything else.
Yeah.
So he's doing that. Mum was like a hairdresser. Then she taught aerobics, which is bizarre. So my mum was an aerobics teacher, my dad was a karate teacher, which is like dead odd. And then when she just worked jobs to look after the kids because that was like a normal thing then. Yeah. Even in like the 90s, the mum stayed at home. And then when we were at high school, she went and got like diplomas and stuff and opened her own private practice, like therapy. So she's been doing that, working from home. He's been doing that and doing his own thing. But they could walk in and out of jobs and get jobs. And
it's not like that now, is it?
Like they bought their first house for 14,000, sold it and bought the house they live in now for 34. It was like a 2-bedroom cottage then. Now it's 3 stories, 5 bedrooms is worth, they won't tell me how much it's worth. because I'll start putting stuff in their coffee until eventually it'll be my house. But I keep telling them, like, yeah, you keep being like this. I've seen a home that you'll like. And they're like, what are you on about? I was like, I saw it on Watchdog. They're talking about this bad home. I was like, I'll wheel you into that. I'll wheel you out. I'll get you out the car. I'll sit you on that little wheelchair and I'll push you out slowly, like curling. I'll push you out. You'll be like the little curling thing and you'll go out and then you'll be in the home then. It's just the horrible jokes from my parents for all this, like,
I like that, threatening them with a home.
Yeah, I'm like, I saw this really nice home on Watchdog. It's on Crime Watch, this home, you love it. The Shady Pines. Just, kick them out. Yeah, it's a different world. I couldn't believe it. No whooping, the saving and everything like that. So they got what they wanted in the end, but they could afford houses and stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how hard you work.
Do you think they're different now because, like, just to be saying the world's easier now? The world's different now as well.
It's
like,
different. When
I was a kid, the way we were disciplined is not acceptable now.
No.
So do you think that's why, people who were parents when we were young and are now grandparents are softer because they know it's not as acceptable, or do you think it's just that they themselves have come a bit softer?
Yeah.
Like if I was cheeky to my mum, or I swore at my mum or something when I was a kid, I'd get a clip on the ear.
Yeah. I wouldn't even. But it was a look.
I reckon my niece could come at my mum with a knife and she wouldn't get a slap.
Yeah, I think maybe it is that. There is like we would never really hit. You would get smacked. No, I'm not on the arse.
Yeah, I'm not getting like we're not. I wasn't abused or anything like
but
that.
Even that's not.
If I deserved it, I'd get like a bit of a clip around the head, just to like watch your mouth kind of thing.
But that every now and then, maybe once or twice a year, was enough that when you're in the supermarket, the look did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you were like, okay, that's fine. But now there's no. Then they are like that with Layla. They are way less with the grandkids, but they aren't still. Get down on a level. So tell me what you're feeling now. Do you know what I mean? Like, even though she's like a counsellor, she won't be like, what's going through your head? How do you feel that you dealt with that situation? They're just like, there's somewhere in between where they are. Yeah. It's not a whooping, but it's not life coaching.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's in there. But it was never... But maybe it is just that's an improvement on what they had. Because my dad's parents were super strict. And really like far out, a bit like Shameless. They were just a weird far out family that would like, Dad would get a whooping.
Yeah.
And Dad's family weren't, like, there's no loyalty even between brothers and sisters. We have this weird family unit. I don't really know them. We don't talk to them. They don't talk to their brothers and sisters, either mum or dad. But like, I remember Dad saying he did the same thing with my guitar. He did it with a bike, a chopper.
Yeah.
And his brother sold it. You're like, what?
That's rough.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no loyalty. It's like a weird unit. So I don't.
Oh, that's brutal.
I know it is. Yeah. So we were like, so they had that, and then they made it to me, and then they had me and Jade, and she made it to. Well, she'll ignore you when she's watching the TV, but at least she's a good kid.
Yeah.
Rather than she sold her sister's bike or whatever.
It's just that's rough. I think you don't do that to your brother.
Yeah.
Just theft.
It's one of them weird things because like, it's like counselling, isn't it? It's like when you see like movies, like I go training, and like you go to like Gracie Barha, and they're like organize like a team, train like a family or whatever it is. They're always like family, like team, like your team's like a family. And I'm like, I wouldn't know because we don't have a normal family unit. We're not lovey dovey. We know that them words have never been said to each other.
Yeah, so that's a bit like us. Like me mum and like her parents are all really, really close. Like they get on really, really well.
Yeah.
Like I can't ever imagine my nana and granddad being firm with my mum, but I can't ever imagine my mum needing it either. You know what I mean? Like they were like, I suppose like what you'd imagine like a perfect little nuclear family to be. And my dad's side of the family are all over the place. Yeah. And like I know that they were a lot stricter with my dad. Like they were pretty Catholic, and like they were a lot stricter with him. So I think it's weird how sort of we turned out sort of somewhere in the middle, kind of. Yeah. But my mum and dad were split up when I was quite young, so we'd have like one kind of like sort of upbringing when it was like me on the weekdays when I was with my mum. Then when I was at my dad's at the weekends, it'd be completely different. It'd be like a lot stricter and that. It was weird. But we used to behave a lot more for my mum than we did when we was at my dad's. Like we'd proper push our luck with my dad's.
Yeah,
we'd think like,
he's not the one that's there.
We're going to see these 2 days a week. They're not going to shout at us. But then obviously there'd be a line, we'd cross that, and it'd be, oh shit, we've done it now. Yeah,
that is the thing, innit? Because what my parents stayed together, but like my mum's side, her mum split up with her dad, and she's never met her dad. Yeah. So she doesn't know, and she never wanted to, like, basically her dad abandoned her and her sister and her mum. So she was like, I don't want anything to do with him. I don't.
Fair point.
So she was like, she'd never known that person. Yeah. Her sister she doesn't talk to anymore because of just whatever it is. But then my dad's the same with because that was just them falling out. But my dad's side is just they're never close. So I feel like when you watch movies and stuff, you're watching like American movie and the dad sits on the bed with the kid, puts his arm around, it's like, you're doing good. I was like, what is that? Yeah. What is that?
Yeah, I think that's
a bit much.
That's over the top anyway, isn't it? Like no one does that.
Like, get off me,
come on, scamp. There's none of that.
Scamp, yeah. Just little nicknames. That's how I knew it was like, we were never close, but then when I moved out, Mum always hugs me now.
Yeah.
I never hugged her. Like, we never hugged my parents.
Yeah, see, we always do that now. Obviously not during COVID.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. You
Filming
can't do any of
meters
that,
apart,
yeah.
but yeah, there's a lot more of that now. I'm older. I think probably more so since I've moved out of Manchester and I've moved
when you move
to
further.
Stoke. I think there's a bit more sort of like affection between everyone when we are together because we don't see each other half as much.
That's it.
But there was never any of that. Well, in fact, no, there probably was. It was just that I was like an awkward teenager where you don't want your mates seeing you hugging your mum.
No, we never did any of it. I found one photo on my second graduation because I didn't want to go to my first one.
Yeah.
On the second one, they were like, we're going to get that picture of you with the thing and we're going to get it all done. And you're going to throw your hat and all that. We're doing it. So buy the tickets.
I never did that.
Didn't want to do it. So the second one I did, and there's a picture of Dad stood next to me with his arm around me. And apart from that and a really awkward handshake on one New Year's Eve, I don't think we've ever actually touched each other. You know what I mean? Like, I was trying to think of it. I was like, because Charles' dads are like quite close with the kids, and they call each other all the time.
Yeah,
they're always really, even though he lives further away. I guess that's the thing again. They live further away, but they're very close. And I was like, yeah, I don't. One awkward handshake on a New Year's because I was on my own.
That's just that era of parenting, though,
isn't it?
Like, I don't think I've ever hugged my dad out.
No,
it just doesn't happen.
Weird,
that would be the most uncomfortable thing ever.
Yeah.
I think I can't think of anything that would be more awkward than that.
But
I reckon my dad would feel the same way as well.
Yeah.
I think my dad would hate it.
It's not one way, is it?
I know I'm not saying like, he hates me, but I know that he won't get anything out of that.
I remember that, like, Lee telling me about John, and when John, before he moved to where he is now, lived with his mum.
Yeah.
And he looked after his mum at the end of her life, and like he would give her like bed baths and stuff. And I was like, do I love my mum enough? I would wash her with a sponge. Unless it's happening.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think you can really. I was like, that is love, innit?
Yeah,
I was like, God
I think
damn.
when you're in that position, I think something like that's a bit different, though. I'm not saying I'd go around now and give him a sponge bath, but like if it came to it, I reckon like you'd step up. You would.
He lived with her, so like he would go home from work, and then he would cook whatever he cooked. So I don't know what if John can cook. Food would be eaten.
Corned beef sandwich.
Yeah, something like that.
A stolen apple.
John was like, God damn. Yeah,
I wondered how long it'd be till John came up.
It's
probably about time we did as well, because I got really deep for a light-hearted first episode.
Yeah, that was good therapy, wasn't it? John is good. John is doing very well. He has been working the entire time.
Good on
this last week, not this week just now, but the last week has been a shutdown week in the factory. Most factories do have a shutdown week in the middle.
Yeah.
And he'll be in. He would have been in the whole time because he's just institutionalized. He's worked in the same place for 40 years. Like, what is he gonna?
It takes some going, that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I think the longest I've ever been in a job is the job I'm in now, and I think that's only about 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's not even 5 years yet. 4.5 years.
That's one of the things that, because when I went for this job, I really wanted to get into screen printing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'd love to know how to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But then I'd been applying for other bits and pieces, and nowhere else was kind of offering. And the only other job that I'd gone for an interview for was a special needs assistant for a kid in a school. And I was like, that would be a cool job. So it's not quite teaching. I'm still using my degrees and stuff, but it's not, there's no marking. You're basically just responsible for this one kid. I go to school and sit in all this kid's classes with him all day. Bond with this kid. He's like a troubled kid. That'd be a cool job.
That sounds good.
That or printing. I was like, let me try printing. I spoke to all the people and I was like, everyone's worked there for double figures. Like John's like 40 years nearly. Lee's on 21 years. Sue's on 16, 17 years. Pat's on 13, 14 years. Everyone's there. And I'm like, it can't be that bad a place to work.
No.
If everyone is like, there's no start and then quit. Everyone's just, do you know what I mean? Like the pay's not amazing, but the place is really funny. We laugh all the time.
See, that's massive.
It's huge.
I'd take that over like big money any day.
Yeah.
Any day. Like we've talked about jobs I've had on here quite a few times, but like I've had one job in particular when I worked at this pet shop, and that was just wild. Like, say anything you want, it was just it was just ruthless. Like it was constantly ripping into each other and everything.
Yep.
And it was like just going and hanging out with your mates for a couple of hours a day. That was ace, but I couldn't afford to live. So it was a bit of a trade-off.
That's where we are at the minute. It's like, well, it's very tight, and then when we've paid the car off, it'll be amazing. But until then, we're kind of not really saving much. But we both have okay jobs where.
Well, when I used to live on my own with my mate, I used to live before I lived with the wife, I used to live in a flat share with my friend, and that worked really well. It worked all right at that point. We could just about sort of make ends meet. But then when I moved in with my now wife, when she was my girlfriend, when we moved in together and we got like our first house, that wasn't happening. Like there was no way we could afford to run a house properly as a couple. No. Not just like a little shared bed sit like we had with Gareth. And the way we used to do it was she used to get paid monthly, and her wage would cover all of the bills. Yeah. And then I'd get paid like £180 a week, and that would cover everything else. Literally everything else. That would be our food shop, so that's like £60. Money getting to and from work, petrol for the car. Yeah. Like obviously I was smoking, so all that. Packet of cigarettes every 2 or 3 days. Like it was just like we get to Friday and we'd be absolutely on our arse. Like
that's kind of where we are. She's just gone on to monthly, weekly. Yeah. It's brilliant.
It is good, but I was always really reluctant. I knew we needed more money, but I was always really reluctant to find another job because of how much I enjoyed working there. Yeah. But then now I'm in a much more comfortable position money wise, but my job's a lot more serious. I've got to be professional. I've got to put a tie on.
You get bonuses though. You get the hours. There's like there are pros and cons.
There's definitely pros and cons. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I love my job I've got now. I really enjoy it, but I couldn't imagine. Like if I couldn't imagine me sort of 10 years ago when I was working at the shop, thinking, oh, in 10 years' time you're going to wear a suit and you're going to work in there and you're going to boss people about and you're going to. You're going to be this kind of person. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm going to stay here all day bumming about with me, mate. But it's weird. It's weird how it ends up though.
Because like my dream job at the minute, where I would love to go, is the job I do now, but for myself. Yeah, that's how I know I'm in a good place. If it was like I won the lottery tomorrow, I would still be doing the same thing daily. I'd just be doing it for me. Yeah, I'm like, that's a pretty good place to be, where I wouldn't change.
Yeah, no, it's good that. Yeah. And there's always scope to do that, isn't there? Because you're picking up the skills. You're never going to lose that.
No, it's always there.
You can lose your job, but you can't lose the skills that you've learned. And it's not a job that's impossible to set up on your own either.
No, yeah, you've always got that option. It'll happen. Stay tuned. All right, I think that's about it. 58 minutes.
Jesus.
58 minutes of therapy.
Think of the way this would. I thought it would. This.
I don't think it would. The ice cream man's outside.
That's
so we
perfect time. Let's put a pin in it.
Right, yeah, you can get us on Lucky Star Radio, 4th Friday of every month. It's 9, 12, and then 5 p.m. GMT. What is it? Facebook.com. I actually do this every week.
/ No Frills
Podcast, and it's No Frills Podcast on Instagram.
We have just been made aware of an imposter No Frills. Spelling it with a Z.
Frills. They're bigger than us though, surely.
Yeah, I think they are bigger than us, yeah.
Oh well.
But we're the OGs, so make sure you got that S in.
Yeah, make sure you get that S in. See you later.
Ta-ra.